Day 16 of a dream to reality. Guys, I have been a busy man. Apologies, listen, as you know, I've been moving out and I've had too much on me plate. I went up to Manchester to see me mate. It's been crazy, but we're back. That's what's important. We're back. We're back for good. You know how we do. We've been making this tribute song for Dire Straits and it's complete. It's mixed, it's mastered. Now, what we need to do is we need to hurry up and make a music video for it, because you know I do the Raygo reactions and I've got people donating to the channel saying react to this, react to that. And I don't want to react to the biggest Dire Straits songs until this is done, because obviously the whole point is I attach this to the reaction so people can be funneled into the music, because as you know, we've got a trifecta of things. This channel, which is just all things music, the life of me. Raygo reactions, I react because I love to react. And we've got Raygo Blue Music, which is my band. Raygo Blue is my band. Inevitably, you know, I want to juggle all three. Show you the life of a musician. I want to be able to sell venues out. Listen, this is a dream. I'm talking my dream. You got to talk it to reality. And then reactions, I don't get paid from reactions. I'm not bothered. I just love discovering new music and hearing your guys' thoughts. But I do get a lot of support on that channel, so the free things going round and round. Anyway, we're back. The song has been mixed, it's been mastered. I was going to show you guys the mixing process, but I'll be honest, the worst, and I'm not the worst, my least favourite part about music is having to mix and produce it. If I didn't have to, and I could afford someone to do it, then I would. But we can't, because they charge ridiculous prices. Stuff like 500 quid to record a song, 200 quid to mix it, 100 quid to master it. It's ridiculous. But also, when you go to a producer and you choose for them to record your song, they do things that I don't want. It's like, I want to get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to the nitty gritty and do what I want to do. And you can't do that with a producer. Unless you sit in with them in the room, which some musicians do. The bigger you get, you tend to sit in the studio with the producer and go, nah, can you change that part? Can you change this? So that's one good thing about doing it myself. But it is boring. And that's the fundamentals of it. It's boring. However, I'm going to show you guys now what I've done. And in a short span, so you don't get too bored. Grab a beer, grab a coffee, grab a tea, whatnot. Let's get into this. So, the song, I set it up into different sections. Lots of people mix in their own ways. This is just how I mix. Drums, bass, guitar, MIDI, which is like what you input into the system. Backing vocals, and then you've got other sections here, which I'm not going to get into that. If you know, you know. And then they open up as well. These are columns. They're all the drums. Then there's like the bass. I have three basses on this. You'll see why. Guitar. Anyway, with the drums, let's have a look. So you've got a main kick drum. On the kick drum you can add things, you know, like an EQ, which I messed around with. Compressor. Graph EQ. It's complicated stuff. You know. And then you got the snare. It started off, when I first started the song, I was using the snare of like a drum stick hitting the side of the snare, like, and I changed it to a thicker snare because it was sounding a bit thin. Got the crash, toms, And, you know, one good thing about mixing music is, there is fundamental things you've got to know, but at the end of the day, ultimately, it comes down to your personal preference and what it is that you like. Do you know what I mean? What do you like? And I know a great example is, if you've heard of Billie Eilish, she's massive at the moment. Her brother Phineas is who mixes her songs. And he's a sick producer. But there's also things in there which are definitely very preference. What's the word? Like, you know, you can tell it's his preference. Like, there's one song she's got called Power, and the guitar is very low. It's just an acoustic guitar song, and you can hardly hear that. And the vocals are very, very loud. And some producers would be like, you need to turn the vocals down. But not necessarily, mate. That's how I wanted the song to come across. And in this song, my kick drum's super loud, but I wanted it to be, because I want it to be thumping with the bass. And as you can see here, with the bass, I've got... Let's have a look. Where? Here. So, you know, it's very like, I wanted to go follow the type of, I wanted to do what Dire Straits do, but also do what I want to do. And if you've been watching my Dire Straits reactions, I've mentioned that John Isley always hits those singular boom, boom, boom. And this is quite inspired by the outro of Private Investigation bass. I'm not copying it, I'm inspired by it. You know? But listen to how the kick and the bass are boom, creating a heartbeat. Anyway, at the beginning, I used a sub bass. I wanted a more like a Michael Jackson sound. So I used a kit. Can you hear? Sorry. You know, you might hear it better with headphones on. And then in the chorus, I had to add a plucky bass because it just wasn't getting the depth that it needed. So but you can't barely hear it there. Look at that. That's called a sub bass, for those who might not know. And I've literally cut it all the way to 60 hertz because the other bass is pretty much sitting around 60 hertz. So this, you can't hear it. You can only feel it, basically. You can hear it, but you would have to wear headphones. It's more of that, do you know when you're in a club and it's like, and you hear the subwoofers going. I had to add that for some depth because it just wasn't coming across. For the guitars, let's see what we've got here. So, we haven't got many. You know, there's not many things going on. The songs, they got the acoustic. And then you got the key ingredient is the main electric guitar, which I was using. And as you can hear, it's those swells. Bit of a tape delay on it. But I kept turning my guitar down and then turning it up quickly to give them swills that Mark has.
I picked up my guitar as I looked out to the sea.
You know? And then what I did to give it more of an effect is I like to do this as I panned it. So on the air, you know, it's just making these very sparse, you know, like unique. It's not going from ear to ear. It's doing what it wants. So it's starting here, and it's working its way to the left here, and then it just sits there.
I woke up this morning,
and as you can see, it's panned from the start to the left.
Poured myself a drink.
Straight to the right, back to left. And the the way I do that is I just listen to the guitar and I think, right, I know it's going to be a call and response. Put it down, put it down, put it down. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I pan that. And then, of course, I don't want to show you the full song, guys, because I want you to... that's why I'm doing it in very separate doses, because I want to show you the full thing. But then it goes into this...
Realized how lucky I am to be a healthy man.
And this piano, which I just played, by the way, on this... Literally just played it on that. I did the right hand first, dong, just played the chords, and then I just added the other section after it because it's not big enough. And I wanted that. One thing that they have is a piano. EQ. Roll off some low end. Add some high end to give it a bit of snap. Compressor. And again, I ain't the best producer in the world by any means. In fact, I'm whack. Like, I'm not even good. Like, I know the basics. And there's a lot of producers who go, mate, what have you done there with the compressor? I don't know. I'm just doing what I think sounds right. You know, I still don't know what half these buttons do. I literally don't. I know the basics, guys. I'm being deadly serious. I know the basics, but there's things I really don't know. And I don't even need to... like, be convincing on that, because a lot of producers will be going, Joe, trust me, we know you don't know. But you can always learn. This is what I always say: as long as it's good enough for the radio to go, yeah, that can be played on the radio, that's good enough for me. I'm not interested. You know what I mean? It really doesn't interest me, this kind of nerdy stuff. And then, as always, I add these two atmospheric, monotonous notes that just ring out, and that's just adding that eerie suspense that they have. And then one thing you guys didn't see in the midst of all this, I was obviously, like, I know I'm a busy man, but never too busy to play guitar. I felt like the song going from the verse into a chorus, it needed some sort of pre-lines, and I came up with these lyrics. I never prayed that much when I was a kid, but it's never too late.
I never prayed that much when I was a kid, but it's never too late. Now the first thing that I do when I wake up is look up to the sky.
Yeah, so you got that lead guitar going through there, which I'm playing on the chorus, which, you know, Mark would do. And then I added an organ, a rock organ, because one thing that Straits do is they go from a verse, which will be piano, and then you'll see them change. You'll see the piano player change to the synth or an organ, something like that. And I just added these. It's just following the melody of the chorus.
Sunrise to be alive.
And guys, there was this one section I did, and honestly, it made me buzz. It's the guitar at this part.
Remind myself of.
I'm not going to show you, I just want to show you one bit of the guitar. This bit. Right, so the one thing that I've mentioned many times, if you've not watched any of my reactions on the Dire Straits, you've got to check them out. I always mention that Mark does, he's in my head. He does things that I do. Like, he does the things that I do as I like to play those kind of things, and that's why I relate to Mark so much. I do the things that he does for the better, but he does these triplets, diddlin, diddlin kind of stuff. Instead of hitting one note, you do two extra notes right before it, and it gives it this like, sound. Now, that was just a nice touch. That. But it was this next section. And it was all off the top of the dome. I improvised it, and trust me, when I'd done, I was like, "Woo! That is what I'm going for."
Upside down.
And this bit's a bit delayed. It's like early. Sorry, it's early to the piano. If you listen to that compared to the piano, you know what I mean. So it's slightly out of time, but it really gives it character. Basically, and then the way it works, guys, is the drill. Majority of things you want to EQ them. So if you don't know, an EQ is one of these, and with an EQ, there's certain things you have to do. A human ear can only hear 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So that's why dog whistles, I don't know what they go to, like I think it's like something plus 20,000. They can hear a very high pitched sound that your ears can't even detect. They can hear it and they're like, whoa. But anyway, with this, you morph it into different kind of things. So if you want to do this, like majority of bass sits around, this 20 to 60 mark. Some of them can go up to around 100 depending on how, much treble you want on it. But so if you want to do bass, you're gonna kind of roll off 200 here, because a lot of guitars, again, every instrument has a natural place where it sits. A guitar is going to sit around 200. So you want to roll the bass off at 200 to give more space to the guitar. And then you've got things like the kick drum. That can get in the way with the bass. So if the bass is really sitting at 60, then you would roll it off at 60 on the kick drum, on the bass. And if the bass has got a really thumping 100 hertz, then you'd get the kick drum and you'd roll it down to even itself out, kind of. That's how it works. And then every instrument's got a different type of hertz where it sits. You will have a hi-hat like tss, tss. You might as well get this and roll it, do a high cut all the way here. Sorry, do a low cut, because you're not going to hear any less than 4K. But there still is things there. So you want to completely cut it off, because even the things you can't hear can muddy up the mix. And the whole aim of the game is to make that mix sound clean. And that's it, guys. I'm trying to think if we had solo sections, which you've already seen. You saw me record it 2 episodes ago. If you want to see me record that off the top of the dome, it's on number 14, Reality. Dream to Reality 14.
Now the first thing that I do when I wake up is look up to the sky. Thank the Lord that I'm here and I'm grateful.
That's all you're getting, guys. But we added this before I let you go. We added this very cool with the organ. I added this section. It sounds sick. And it was more like this. I only added at the very end because I reacted to Walk of Life, and it had some on Walk of Life where it's like they use an organ, so I used an organ. See if you can hear it now.
Thank the Lord that I'm here and I'm grateful for a new sunrise. For a new sunrise.
That's all you're getting. That is all you guys are getting. Right. We have to be quick on the ball now. I don't know what to do. I need to go and get a music video done on Monday. That's it. Just do whatever it is. Get a music video on Monday. I'm thinking me veranda. Go on my balcony. Do the first section. You know. Woke up this morning. Poured myself a drink, a coffee. Picked up my guitar. You just see that. And then, I don't know, add some guitar. Lead guitar. Just go somewhere nice. Because, look, we need to get it done. We need to move quick. And I'm bringing you guys with me. Because listen, we'll show you how we do our music videos. Again, we ain't got the funds to be purchasing music videos. Get more money that little Joe don't have. But guys, I hope you like this video. Actually, do you know what? Before I let you guys go, I said on the last video there's a Q&A. Did you guys have any questions? And that you did. So let's have a little look at what some of you guys said. Bear with me. Bear with me a moment. Oh, mate. How do I get on it? Responded. Here we go. Because I did say I would. So, first off, we have Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee! You're a legend, mate. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching, mate. It's honestly means a lot. You said, you keep at that grind. You're doing great. Loving the sound of the record. It's brilliant. It really is. Can't wait to hear it finished. Hope you're enjoying the new place and settled in. I am. It's getting very good, mate. Look, my brother got me that Budweiser sign. Hung up all the guitars. It's sick. It's cool. I think I'm just going to get me 12 string in here. This corner you can't see, but I'm still yet to do a little show around, but there's too many things on at the moment. We need to get this done. But I've got a microphone stand there. And like on the reaction channel, when people donate, I put my money in this little thing and I put everything towards trying to better my dreams. I need another light there, which I'm going to get because of the donations. So legends again. But you also said, quick question, I'm struggling with finding the tone in a song from Dire Straits. I'm learning Brothers in Arms on my Les Paul ripoff. Harley Benton. I've dot my amp on lead and have been fiddling with my volume and tone, but just can't seem to get the right sound. Any suggestions? It's funny you say this because I have actually tried. I didn't want to, like, this is a tribute song to Dire Straits, so I didn't want to rip them off. You know what I mean? I want it to be my song still. Still my song. It's Raygo Bloom. I wrote the song. It's just a nod to Dire Straits. But I was also trying to get a similar sound to him, and it was proven pretty difficult. The reason being, Mark has a very clean tone, but very, it's still got grit. And I think, Mr. Lee, the key is you want it on the lead. You've got it on the right one. You want it on lead, but if I was you, I'd have the bass. Is yours numbered like 0 to 10? I'd have the bass around like you want it around 7. I'd have the treble around 7. Maybe 8, and I'd have the mids around like 5 or 6. And basically, what you want to do is you want to turn a bit of gain on. A bit of gain. You want more of a volume. Turn the volume up. Let's say you turn the volume to 8 and you have the gain on like 3. You don't want too much gain on it. But you do, or if that doesn't work, try turning the gain halfway and the volume down a lot. You want, this is the problem. Half of it is in his hands. There is gain there. There is. You just don't want too much. You should be able to strum the guitar and it sounds still quite clean. Do you know what? I don't know. I do. I could find it, but the guy's a genius, Mr. Lee. The guy's a genius. Kyle said, let's go. Nice setup, Joe. The new house must be bigger. I hear you echoing. Laugh out loud. That's because I had no curtains, and sometimes I record through my microphone, and sometimes I record through the GoPro. But the whole part of the Joe Walker channel is, we're rough and ready, guys. Some of the editing ain't going to be all that. You know what I mean? But you are right. I have got two, well, considering I live by myself, it is a bit bigger. 2 bedrooms. But it's, mate, honestly, it's sick. I can't wait to show you guys. By the way, my hoodies arrived today. Had to toss one of those as soon as I got inside. It's colder here than England, and you're way up higher on the map. Go on, lad. Flossing the Raygo Bloom. That all goes in the kitty to support all this stuff. Raygo Bloom, if you want some merch, raygobloom.com. But Kyle said, I want to know how you came up with the name Raygo Bloom and its backstory. So, the Raygo Bloom came about. So, in Raygo Bloom, there's actually only 2 members in my band, and it's me and it's Charlie. We play acoustic guitars and we harmonise and we sing. Every now and then, we would would get some guys in the band who would play with us, and we've done gigs with them, but in reality, if we go on tour, we'll just find new people and probably pay them to do our parts, because reason being, when you're in a band, there's too many cooks spoil the broth, and I am quite a controlling person, not in a bad way, but with the music, I have a vision, and I'm like, can you do that with the bass? And he's like, no, I want to do this, and it's like, don't work, mate. So it's better to just hire them. So when the Raygo Bloom take off and we go on gigs, it'll be more of a session musician, hire them to just do a tour with you. But me and Charlie, because we're the main members, he was like, we need a name that no one knows, because we've had names we was like called, I'm not going to even mention them, but we've had names. And you could type it on a Google and all the things would come up. So Charlie one day said, what about Raygo Bloom? And he, to this day, Kyle, has no idea. He just said he liked the word bloom. And he was like, something bloom, like contrast. So he was just throwing different things out there. And he was at work and he said, Raygo Bloom. And my first instinct was, mate, it sounds like an aftershave. Raygo Bloom. Just 2 sprays and you'll smell like a king. You know what I mean? But then the more I thought about it, it's actually, it's a sick name. No one's got it. No one in the world's ever come up with it. It's 2 words that have never been put together. Type it in on Google, anything will come up. And the main thing was, mate, that you can type it in and nothing comes up but us. Just to save competition. Like, we're already saturated as it is. The last thing we need is people typing in your name, and Bearheads have got it. So yeah, it's a limited company now, Raygo Bloom, so no one else can ever have it. But yeah, that's where the name came about. And then for the logo, even though you didn't ask, I thought I'd give you a little bit of cherry on top here. I did the the square Raygo Bloom. I writ the Raygo Bloom thing on Christmas Day in 2020. I just came up with that and I went, what do you reckon of that, to Charlie? And he was coming round on the Christmas Day. And before we got there, so I sent him the Raygo Bloom on top of each other. And he just sent it back with the box around it and the 2 lines in the middle. And I was like, boom, there it is. And he was like, hell yeah, Raygo Bloom. So that's where it all came from. And yeah, it's cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until the next one, which is going to be soon, because it's going to be this video. We're moving, we're doing things. But I actually can't wait until this is over with, this Dire Straits, because it's been manic having to do this. We'll be moving on to much bigger things, guys. EPs, albums, trying to get our songs on a CD, and hopefully you guys can buy a CD. That would be sick. That's the next step. Let's get to there. But we've got some stuff to finish off first. So if you guys would like this, like it, share it, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.